Welcome to Slab Podcast, episode 11. Last week, I completely omitted the fact that that was actually episode 10. And big props to us making it to double digits. And we're on a run here. We're on a run. Just want to quick mention we have the giveaway Professor Oak announced coming at the end of the video. So definitely stay tuned for that. I don't know if you have it handy. You want to show it off real quick or?
Sure do.
So this will be given away to one of the people entered a spicy topic. PSA 10 Pikachu. Beauty, just an absolute beauty. Appreciate all the love and support from everybody. But this week we're going to do a little bit something different. Also, today, the day this is uploaded, me, Professor Oak, will be on Pokey Flips podcast, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Link down below in the description. Go check it out. Woo! It's going to be a rager. You excited?
Sure am. Absolutely excited. Congrats on 10/11 episodes now. Episode 11. Yep, that's a pretty cool little feat that we've hit just there. So very exciting for us as well. Pretty good week for us. Solid week celebrating.
Hell yeah, man. No, it was good. Definitely. But yeah, looking forward to the Pokey Flips podcast. Go again. Link down below in the description is the video they last posted 2 weeks ago, roughly. And if you go in there and enter in any questions, we will have to answer them probably live on stream. So go check that out. Hope to see you guys there. Stop by. Again, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be a riot. So bunch of spicy topics. Yeah, exactly. Be gentle. I'd also like some spice. I'd love some spice inside of there. It'd be fun.
Let's do spice then. Go spicy.
Yeah. Speaking of spice, this episode we're gonna just unload the spicy comments from last week, go through every single one of them, and just break it down. And we're just going to start at the top. Professor Birch, man, killed it. It was like 22 likes. Dude absolutely annihilated everybody. There was no contest whatsoever. Shout out to you with the spicy topic. I'll let you read into it and kick us off on there.
Yeah, Professor Birch. Fellow professor. He said, people in the hobby spend too much time consuming content and other opinions, leading to bad plays and a lack of focus on what's important to the individual and their personal collecting goals.
That's deep tissue massage there.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of key points we're gonna poke at this a little bit to break it down. Like, what does he really truly mean here? So he's talking about people in the hobby, and he's assuming at the end when he wraps up talking about personal and collecting goals, that people in the hobby just collect. I think there are a lot of different avenues and realms and corners and niches and all different aspects to the hobby. To be able to collect, people need to be able to sell in the hobby to be able to buy. So there are buyers and sellers, there's traders, there's winners, there's givers, there's a little bit of everything. So I think fundamentally is right in terms of listening to bad advice, bad plays, that kind of stuff, making bad decisions. I think that's happened. I think we've seen that a lot with just people that aren't really in the hobby, but maybe just got into the hobby, just been dabbling around in the hobby, that kind of stuff, which was a lot of people. So, yeah, I guess it's all just perspective on how you look at it, how you view people and what they're doing and whether they're in the hobby or not. For me, I've definitely seen people making bad plays. I've seen comments on certain YouTubers' videos that are pretty alarming. I think we've all seen them, like very big support and people spending money on crazy stuff and just generally thinking there's more to it than, honestly, like you said, just simply being a personal collector. We've all probably been wrapped up in it at some point, whether that's like a crazy whatnot stream or this item we've been looking for months and we overpay because we don't know if we're going to get it again. And I don't know, the next newest set that's exciting, it's got a card that's worth so much. There's all different ways that we've probably got sucked in and do it. And I think that's the root of what he's speaking to. It's just making bad decisions because of hype. I think, right?
FOMO.
Yeah, hype and FOMO. That's kind of what is really poking at. So yeah, Professor Birch, I mostly agree. I do have to say though, there are YouTubers out there that actually give really good advice. Like there are people that do give opinions and data and advice and honesty and transparency and stuff. They do stuff. There's not a whole lot of them. Like, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I think most of us know each other, the people that are good, but yeah, there's a lot of bad apples out there in it to make money, just purely for the money. So that's my view on it. I'm sure that had some certain spice level to it, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Can you think of a video, not a specific video or content creator, but I was trying to think of like something that leads to bad plays. Like maybe I'm just not following those types of channels. But do you any idea what an example of that might even be?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I really want to be careful here.
Yep, please.
I'm not subscribed either, and that's for that exact reason. You know, it's because the videos were not entertaining for me from those people, and they were telling me stuff that felt to me almost bordering condescending. Like instead of like entertainment and intellectually like informational, you know, they weren't like giving me information. They were like saying, "Oh, this and that, like this is what I'm doing, this is what this worth," flashing prices up on screen, stuff like that. Like, I get it if you're talking about your own stuff, but when you're talking about like, this is why you should do this for this and that for that, nobody knows. Like, it's not like you should never give people any kind of advice that you're like just a thought and assume that like, I'll word this really carefully, but like honestly, like I just don't think you should give advice if you don't really know what you're talking about. And I think a lot of people I've seen do that. Like they've given advice and said this is good, this is bad. And they don't know, they're just assuming. Like you don't know if something's good or bad, like especially if it's not even been released yet, you don't know if it's good or bad. Like we never really know. Yeah, I don't know. There's quite a few particular videos I can think of that I remember watching them and I remember clicking unsubscribe because of that exact video, and it was very similar to this topic was the reason for it. It's a major turn off for me, this topic, honestly. What about you?
Yeah, so yeah, I wanted to take a look in the mirror real quick on myself and like try and put myself in these shoes. Like people in the hobby spend too much time consuming content and other opinions. I surely do so much of that. Like I've consumed a lot of content. A lot of it's driving in the car, listening more so than watching. A lot of the stuff I have on YouTube is like stuff I can listen to. I don't have to watch a bunch of things, but I definitely consume a lot. Personally, I guess I have a little bit more self-control than some. I don't know, but I'm not heavily influenced by FOMO and stuff like that. Watching these people rip into these new packs, but you can definitely see that a lot of people are, which is why a lot of this we're in this like modern bubble currently. So I totally agree in the sense that there are tons of people, like even people watching PokeRav Leonhardt videos when they flash the PSA 10 price when they're opening stuff. Like I don't know, that stuff's kind of weird just because like most of the stuff's not tenning straight out of pack, like even nines a lot of the times, unless it's like modern Japanese. But a lot of the stuff like you said, there's tons of content out there, great information, worth the time listening to and keeping like the pulse of the market of what's going on. But it should not be influencing plays. I don't think it's more just sense of the market is kind of what I take it as. It like gives me the knowledge that I need to know of what's happening in the world. I get LGS owners' opinions on things. I get collectors' opinions on things, people flipping full-time opinions on things, what they're looking at. So getting all these different opinions really rounds me in the sense of like what I need to know what's going on and should I be selling these based on all of these different opinions. But um yeah, it's not so much influenced in plays, like what plays I need to make into buying and flipping for me. It's more so just the sense of the market, what I get from my
Mhm.
content. And I'd probably recommend that to a lot of people. Like a lot of like even the people with the booster box channels, like talking about booster box or wax or whatever type of game you're in, that is useful information. People are just talking about current prices inside of it. You don't need to listen to the crap. They're like, this is going to be 40% higher in 7 months. Who gives a crap? All I care about is the current price. Where was it? Where are we now? And that's good enough for me to keep it pushing. You know what I mean? That's good enough information to kind of round it out, which is great. But yeah, it definitely doesn't usually affect collecting goals for me, content and stuff like that. But like I said, I think there's so much influence from PokeRev, who's probably hitting 2 million as we're talking on YouTube. Man, it's the influence from the influencers, Deep Pocket Monsters, and even Sports Card Investor, and all these other people. They do like Sports Card Investor does top 5 sports cards to invest in videos. Like God knows how many people go and buy those right after the dude posts it every single week. So there's definitely a lot of weird garbagey type things out there. Not saying Sports Card Investor is garbage, but there's a lot of stuff you need to take with a grain of salt for sure.
Well, I think, with what you're saying there, and when you relate that to what Professor Birch is saying in that comment, is he and the people that upvoted that are essentially saying that YouTube viewers lack critical thinking, right? I mean, we want to get spicy, like that's the real spice of it. So we're saying like people can't watch something and think for themselves of whether that's good information or bad information and what did they learn from it. That's really what he's saying. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure for some people that's correct. For myself, I wouldn't describe myself as lacking critical thinking, but even like the too much time consuming content, like definitely spend too much time consuming content, like every time I'm doing chores, like cutting the grass, doing laundry, trying to get the kids in the bath, whatever. I'm always constantly listening to stuff, in my free time.
Yeah.
So that's been like very beneficial for me. I've learned a lot from, like you say, from markets. I've known what things are doing well, not doing well, what things like prices. I've learned a lot about new cards I'd never seen before. Like there's a lot of like literal content of like seeing things that I'd never experienced before because I've never gone out and looked. I didn't know that was a thing. There's like a lot of benefit to it. So it does make me feel bad, like thinking of people doing bad plays and blowing money and losing stuff. I would imagine a lot of them probably go to bed, wake up the next day and have forgot about it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that many people are like selling their houses and cars to invest in Pokemon because they watched a sports card investor video and like got that crazy. I think some of them probably like, oh, I'll buy that $150 card, and then they'll buy it and they're like, oh, it's only worth $120 now. I should probably sell it. And then the next day they forgot about it. Like they're not hurting as such. Like the majority, I'm sure some people have made really bad stuff, but I would think the majority like probably haven't got too crazy. There's just a lot of people doing it and have been doing it, especially with the Pokemon hype, and like trading cards with sports and stuff. So that's kind of my view on it. I think I'd be interested to see what other people think. If you guys want to leave a comment, separate to the spicy one, on your take to that. I think this is something that you guys obviously, as our viewers here, feel fairly strongly about. He got a lot of upvotes. So like, what's your take on it? Like, tell us in the comments. I'd really like to know like what you guys think as well. Is it a bigger problem? A deeper problem than we think, or is it just a lot of volume of people doing like silly stuff?
Yeah.
No,
know. Exactly. Definitely would like to see other people's opinions on it.
Some of it's fun too, right? Like I've bought stuff that I've wasted money on, and it was fun doing it. I've also wasted money at the casino. I've also wasted money on fancy dinners. Dan says that all the time. Like I've done that. Like
Yeah.
I spend money on stupid stuff. It's not just Pokemon cards. Like we've all been there. You know, you have an asset at the end of it. So even if it's worth $1, it's still worth $1. You know, you can't sell that fancy ice cream that you spent $10 on.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think we should hop into the spicy topics for next week before we rattle off the rest of these. I don't know who went first last time.
I don't remember. I can go
I'll
if you
go.
want. You want to
Yeah,
go? You
go
go.
ahead. Go. All right.
No,
I'll go.
ladies first. Go ahead.
All right. F you, bro. Chill out. The disrespect. Jesus. So again, everybody, appreciate all the spicy comments. Down below in the comments, post a spicy comment now for next week. The plan again is probably to go back and do like a Hall of Fame spicy comment week, but this week we are going to actually go through all of them. So from last week, that'll be pretty awesome. So spicy comment down below. My spicy comment for the week. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. Everybody, just sell your crap now. Get out.
Oh Jesus Christ!
You're up.
Oh my god. Okay, I got nothing on that. Okay, so there's no way I'm winning this week. I was gonna say, honestly, I know we're talking about whatnot and stuff. I just genuinely believe the fast auction stuff. I think that's gonna be big on YouTube and whatnot and stuff. And I think that the watching it is gonna decrease. Pokey Rebel a lot. I think watching packs being open is going to decrease. I think buying and being involved in the process is going to increase, basically. But
may the odds be ever in your favor.
Yeah.
Now, moving on. Topic number 2 from last week. Let's run into it. People say they prefer English because they can read the card, but no collector actually ever reads the card. I'll go first, I guess, since you went first when you read it. I don't know, guys. Like it's each collector's different. There's definitely a bajillion collectors in Pokemon that don't read cards and they don't give a crap about attacks and stuff like that. I guess I'm one of those unicorns. Every time I see those Japanese cards getting leaked, all I could see is the attack points at like 250 damage. And it takes like 3 energies, and I'm really curious as to what the effing ability or attack does, or what's the requirement of the attack. So it drives me freaking nuts seeing some of these boss cards that I have no clue what they're doing when it's leaked in only Japanese. So I do read the cards, but I totally 100%. Like it's weird seeing a lot of Charizards that have released in the last 10 years are not playable at all, and nobody gives a flying F. They literally are like, this card's beautiful. It needs to be encapsulated. Let's just send it. Like we need to grade it, but I do care. I like things that are playable. There's a little bit more scarcity than to the grading because the cards are all getting played alike. Like in the Yu-Gi-Oh side, a lot of like really, really nice cards were played. And that's what people care about in the Yu-Gi-Oh side. Cards that were really high use and the populations are extremely low because every one of them that ever got ripped went into a deck. So that stuff is really cool to me. Reading and knowing the abilities of cards. I'm not the art guy for Pokemon. I'm not going to be chasing art just for art. There are cards like that that'll do it for me. But it's usually pretty rare. Like I'm all over the map. I guess, like I said, I'm a special being, but I do think there is tons of people that just overlook and don't care about the text and they go straight to the art. So, what's your thoughts on this one?
I think that's such a positive thing. I think it's spicy. I think it's absolutely fantastic that people like these artworks so much that they're willing to buy something they don't even read or understand purely because of the little picture that's a part of it. I think that's awesome. That's really good. If I was an artist, I'd be flattered that like literally they didn't even read the card because all they could look at was my picture that I made. Like that was like so captivating and so like fantastic that they spent money to own a copy. It's not even the artwork, it's just a little copy, couple inches wide of that. Like that is, I think it's brilliant. Honestly, I think that's awesome. But there's a couple of things to this, like the comment says people say they prefer English. Well, I mean, people in Korea and Japan probably aren't saying they prefer English because they can read it. Like, I think we're talking about US and English speaking people first, but also there's a lot of people that say they prefer Japanese because that's the OG and because the card is better quality and the back's cleaner and like there's a million different takes out there. People just buy what they love, and people also buy what they think other people love because they want to try to make money. There's just everyone's doing different stuff. But it said no collector actually ever reads the cards. I mean, I have so many cards. There's no way I'm reading them all. Like I literally have piles. I mean, piles and piles and piles of cards that I own, and I'm collecting them, or I'm got some in the binder or whatever. Like there's some cards that like I just literally haven't read.
Yeah.
But
What's the best Pikachu card, playable wise?
Playable. I really like my I got a Surfing Pikachu VMAX from Celebrations in my online deck. I've had really good luck with that. Not great. Honestly, I'm not that good at it, but that's probably the one that I seem to have the most success with. And that's not very successful. Like honestly, I'm probably like 55 to 45% like winning. I'm like just over halfway, in terms like either way, shall I say, in terms of winning and losing. I need to build a better deck, but in person, I mean, I haven't played since WotC. Like, honestly, I haven't played in person. I don't have anyone here like close to me that want to play. My wife has zero interest, and my daughter literally says no to opening brand new packs. She has zero interest at all. So,
wow,
yeah, she did a couple of times. I think he even made a video on it, but yeah, she's done. She's over that. She wants to dress up like a princess instead.
Yeah, there's I was fangirling over the new Gyarados card that came out of the new set because of his attack. His attack it does 180 damage plus 180 damage if it already has a damage counter on it. That 360 damage will knock out any Pokemon one stroke. No shot, like nothing.
Do you remember what the HP was?
300 HP.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of VMAXs and stuff that wouldn't take him out in one shot, and then as a repercussion, you could.
Yep. So the issue is it has to have a damage counter on it, but there's a lot of cards like field spells and whatever, not field spells, but stadium cards that splash damage on things when they drop them on play. But just a lot of respect for that. Frick, 360 damage with one attack, no buffs or anything included yet. That's a lot of effing damage. So big props to Gyarados for getting that massive frickin' swinging D out there.
Yeah, I'm curious if there's going to be other heavier hitting cards, like maybe they're kicking it up a notch for Scarlet Violet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like there's like a $38 EX card. I forget, it's a newer Pokemon that, like, when you put them on board, use your ability, add 2 basic energies out of your deck to your bench, which is freaking nutty.
Oh, is that the Koraidon one?
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, but just it seems pretty interesting. So I definitely love reading them and seeing how the meta is changing and stuff like that. Keeping up on it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I enjoy it too. I like the idea of it being more played. I wish that I know we've got the physical copies and we've got the online copies, but the code card is like, it's not a bridge in between. It's like such a very separate thing from the physical cards. Whereas, I mean, obviously, the ideal thing is what they did with e-reader, where the actual card is what brings you into the game, gives you what you need. But it's very separated. So I love the idea of there being more investment in the text and the gameplay and that kind of stuff. I think it's just trying to make fetch happen. I think people like to collect them and play with them, but unless you play with them, like I don't think that many people are like studying them other than the card number and like what set picture it is. Illustrate a name, attack, and HP, that kind of stuff. Like I got pictures where I honestly couldn't tell you the attack. I don't even remember what it said. I usually do read them, but I can't remember. This Evolving Skies, I think it has Electro Ball and Electro Shock. Oh, Energize and Electro Ball. I got one of them.
You ready for your Pokemon challenge question of the day?
No.
What is base set Pikachu's second attack, energy requirement, and what does it do? How much damage? What does the attack do?
I want to say it's something simple like claw or bite or something.
The first attack is 1 energy, 10 damage.
No.
What's the second one? What's the second one?
Is it Tail Whip? Dude, I'm the worst. I told you.
Oh my god!
I don't remember that stuff.
Point proven.
Yeah.
Thunder Jolt. Flip a coin. If tails, Pikachu does 10 damage to itself.
Yeah, there you go. I could have sat here for 10 minutes and I probably couldn't have remembered it. It's been a month since I last
does 30
looked at
damage.
That card. Like,
shame. People won't forget that one.
Yeah, I can edit that out anyway.
Yeah.
While
I'm editing it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, seriously though, there are cards where like I couldn't tell you the attack. Like I've got it and I love the artwork, but I just don't have a memory for that. For me, 90% of it is the appreciating the artwork and what it is. Not even like the rarity. Like Crimson Invasion is like not a rare Pikachu. That's my favorite artwork. Like I just love it. Like call me dumb, call me whatever, but like there's just everyone has their own thing, right? There's people that collect energy cards. For God's sake, there's a registry for energy cards now. So
nice.
Yeah. So what was this next one? Fast-paced auctions are going to be even bigger in the future. That was me, right?
That was you. Lead us down the journey.
So that's what with this. I'm gonna be careful. Obviously, like using it again, but I wasn't really using it. I don't think I really clarified what I was saying last week. I think that's why I want to add on to it. So really, I should skip this. But
it was killing you inside to divulge into your topic.
Yeah. Well, this week, my spice topic is that stuff is going to be bigger, but that's going to be bigger and watching it is going to be lower. I think people are going to drift away from investing time in watching it somewhat. And I think people are going to start doing more of like getting involved in buying and whatnot and eBay and all those kind of things, like all the craziness going on. So I feel like we should skip this. Maybe we could talk about it next week with that spice topic. I don't know. What do you think?
You sound confident your shit's going to get voted on.
Maybe I'll get a runner-up prize.
There you go. We'll go with that. All right, I'll run into the next one then. I said, and it's there's been some breaking news of this in the last 24 hours. Sports card investors will blow up Lorcana is what I said last week. Got completely obliterated by Professor Birch. He like 3x plus me in the number of upvotes. Shout out to you again. Great work. Yeah, so Lorcana dropped the pricing. Was it $149.99 or one? Yeah, I think it was $149.99 for a booster box. 24 packs booster box. Over $6 a pack was like the pre-release pricing. It was sold out I think you had linked it in your Discord, the Lorcana, and it was sold out completely. sports card investors, I had mentioned this because I had noticed there was a few sports card channels already speculating on this. And I had mentioned they never talk about the new Pokemon set coming out. They don't give a flying F about Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, any of this crap. But when Disney makes a TCG, they are slapping their freaking loads of money on the table, ready to freaking clean this thing up. $150 for a 24-pack blister booster box is insane. It's literally 2x the price of Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh has been around since 2002 in the US. That's insane. 2x the price. 2x.
It looks good quality though. The cards they look quality, right?
Yeah, and I noticed they commented they're going to have hollow foil cards. They haven't really shown what that will really fully look like, but and I'm wondering also if I noticed on their Instagram, Leonhardt is one of the 11 people Lorcana is following, and he is commenting on their posts. So I wonder if he's going to be partially in bed with them doing Disney-esque content when it drops. That'll be pretty interesting.
I mean, if there's anyone you're going to do it, you're going to pick the top 3 guys, right? To get the most views on it. They're the kind of people that would buy something like that, their audience. We're talking about millions of people. You're going to go to the person with the widest, biggest reach of the specific type of people that would buy it. Like, they're not going to advertise it on a bass fishing channel, right? They're going to go to Leonard, they're going to go to Rev, you're going to go to those guys.
Old school Pokemon.
Old school Pokemon. Yeah. I mean, seriously, like you're going to go to creators, you're going to go to people that are in it, that sell it, that buy it, that love this stuff, that will get excited and like scream till they're red in their face to get people going. I mean, I'd probably have my marketing people do the same thing if I was Disney, but it'd be fun to like see that, I guess, see them opening it and some good quality content of that stuff to like really give it what it deserves, in terms of opening it and seeing the cards well and seeing some cool stuff pulled. Box look cool. I mean, you got classics on there. Elsa's on there. I think there was Moana, Mickey dressed as Robin Hood or whatever he's doing. There was a few things on there. So it looks like there's going to be a good like variation of the Disney characters. Before we got any glimpses of those original cards, that little mini set thing that they released, I was curious because they were making it like a game, if they were going to do it like basically like Pokemon, like themed seasons, themed like sets and stuff. So maybe there was going to be like Disney Pixar type set, maybe the old school princesses set, maybe Mickey Mouse set, that going that kind of realm. But it seems like they're just doing a random spread in this first one of artworks, and they kind of like, they look like kind of mature. Honestly, they don't look like a little kiddie type thing. They look like like an actual real game that like teenagers or something will play.
Yeah, I get that same sense. It looks like Magic the Gathering a little bit, like the card borders and all that. Yeah,
it's definitely like a little more serious looking than I was first expecting, but I'm excited for it. Honestly, like if I get it at retail, I'd probably buy a box. I'd support it. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool just because of like we're all talking about it. We're going to be talking about it all year, probably. People and getting excited about it, and it's something new coming from like not a random Kickstarter dude called Ralph or whatever. Like it's like Disney are releasing it, so it's going to be good quality cards. They're going to have really good marketing, good playability. Like these guys don't do things by halves; they go balls to the wall with stuff. So I think it's going to be good. Like in every area. I don't know if it's going to meet like Pokemon expectations, but for what it is, for what Disney does, like they do things well. So it's part of their success. They're incredibly successful company as a whole in many different ways. We'll see. I mean, you said you'd buy some too, right?
Yeah, no, it'd be awesome. It was the first ever packs I ever opened with my kids was the Pixar from White Schwartz, and them being able to just identify the characters is pretty dope. They're getting pretty good at Pokemon. We've only opened it once or twice, a couple like ETBs or something, but they're getting the addiction. I actually was watching, what the hell was I watching the other day? I was watching some pack opening, like Ruxin. It was Yu-Gi-Oh. We were watching Yu-Gi-Oh. My daughter was sitting there just staring at the screen. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, this is really cool watching them open Pokemon, even though it's Yu-Gi-Oh. She was like into it.
No
Like,
way.
it was really strange. But no, they're getting into it, which is really weird and creepy at the same time.
Yeah, they're
Not gonna be good for the wallet.
gonna want you doing it. They're gonna watch Daddy stream that stuff. That's what they want.
They don't want to watch Daddy's show. When they see my intro dropping, they're like, "Oh no, change this. I would rather have watch." Yeah, turn on Blippy, please, for the love of God. That's all they're saying.
Oh, yeah, we've got Walmart Blippy now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's jump in. What's this next one? Spicy topic. Flippers, investors, even with all the hate that they get, they're the reason why we can open older sets and experience them years later. I guess they're talking about watching it in terms of like if vintage sets were opened like they were intended to back in the day, then we couldn't be able to re-experience this again or experience them for the first time years later. So in a sense, they're good for the hobby. Emotionally, yeah, I agree. It has been fun. I mean, part of why I was drawn, honestly, back into Pokemon again was I think a lot of people, pre-COVID with Pokemon Go and stuff, getting that nostalgia back and then waking up and then COVID exploding a little bit. A lot of us, a lot of you guys at home probably resonates with that a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you watch it, you watch PokeRev, you watch, whatever, open some cool stuff, you find your old binder and go through it and like, God, I love this stuff. It still looks exactly the same 20 years later. It's a pretty fantastic feeling. So, I honestly, I kind of agree. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's too spicy of a take. I do agree. Like in a sense, like obviously King Gary, Pokemon, and all his first edition base boxes, unlimited boxes, and all the other people that just hodled all their unlimited boxes, all the WotC boxes, gives people the opportunity, like Pokey Chloe, who's newish to the busting packs and boxes game, and she's able to do it now in 2023. We're sourcing new boxes, and I think she just opened a first edition heavy pack today ish. So all of that's still happening, and it's pretty cool to experience and see all these younger people that were 8 years old when the set came out be able to experience that now as an adult and cherish those times and kind of relive the past through all these people that did hold all this stuff. Whether it was intelligent at the time, it probably was. It definitely was. So if they held it throughout this whole time, but most people did not. Most people did not hold everything since 1999 to now. It's traded hands usually a lot of times, but there are those crazy people out there like King Pokemon and but yeah, it's cool to see all these old packs and boxes getting broke open on all these channels and get to experience it. Like he said, it wouldn't happen without the influencers and stuff like that for sure.
I got a question. If when Pokemon base set got released, if it was 99 cents a pack, do you think it would have blown up and had the same success of what it became?
If it was a third or fourth the price? Yeah, for sure. The video games did everything for that game. Video games came out year before, absolutely murdered that whole thing, and then the cards made it real. Like, oh, I can have this in my hands, like, and exchange it with my friends outside of the video game, outside of the link cable. Yeah, that like I would have probably got more than one pack every 2 weeks. That would have been freaking dope too. Like,
well, that's you're touching on exactly the point I'm getting to. Like, I feel like I would have had more. Like, I don't feel like some of the stuff may have been as rare. I know they printed a hell of a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I do think like the people that were really into it. I mean, maybe it's just a case of like more like it was less spread out. Maybe that's it. Maybe more people, like less people had more of that stuff because of the pricing. Maybe that's what would have happened. But I have thought about that before. I've never really had a conversation about it. It's kind of thinking like toys at the moment are like really expensive. Kids' toys and like Lorcana coming out $6 a pack. Like a lot of this stuff, I'm looking at it in the store. You know, my daughter's asking for this baby doll. I'm looking at the baby doll. It's like $30, and it looks like it's worth like $3. And it's just interesting to think like, would she obviously doesn't care, but would she, when she's like 8, 10, like would she think it's like uncool because something's so cheap and maybe move away from it? Is there that aspect of it, or would it be, oh my god, this is cheap, I want to buy as much as possible because I love it? For me, I would have absolutely lost it and wanted to buy as much as possible, but I was like obsessed with Pokemon. I was absolutely crazy. I mean, come on, guys. Like,
I think Pokemon would be a little bit different than a baby doll because you can get a really cheap baby doll and just the quality. Like if the quality of the Pokemon cards went down like to 30% of what a $4 pack was, I don't know. Like the quality of the cards was it was really good at the time. It was obviously similar to Magic the Gathering that had been doing it for 6 years already, but I think just the quality of the cards was good. It didn't seem cheap or underdone, or I don't know. It
felt special, right? The holos, we got holo. It felt so special.
Yeah, that was something Magic the Gathering wasn't really. They maybe were just starting to do it, but I feel like they weren't even doing that in '99.
I never heard of it.
No, I feel like they still had all non-holos.
I had zero reference to Magic. That's very like American thing. I'd never heard of that in England, and so Pokemon cards for me were the first time I'd ever seen anything like this, and I was like, holy smokes, Batman! Like this is like amazing. This stuff is really special. So yeah, this is just interesting. Like thinking about pricing, like what pricing would do with people's mentality and stuff. But anyway, I digress. We do have some other questions, some other topics we should jump into. Did you answer that one, Fully? Were you finished on that?
Flippers, investors, even with the I forget what the freaking question was or the topic was.
We were talking about it being good. You know, you're talking about like people having a good experience with it.
Yeah, talked about Pokey Chloe's involvement and all she's doing in PokeRev. Yeah. Next topic. Oak blames his newborn for lack of being fun now.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Walrus, you wanted to make Oak cry. You made him cry.
Did you really?
That was really mean, Mr. Walrus.
Swift kick right in the nuts.
What? How am I not fun now?
Out of left field, bro. He just came out of nowhere with that one. Smoked your ass.
Lack of being fun. Josh, help me out here. Like, lack of being. I have no idea where that came from. I don't know what I missed there. Have I been like so tired and miserable in the podcast? I don't know. Real spicy topic.
That was spicy.
Wallace.
The only thing I could say, like just to defend Walrus a little bit, is just the game nights. But your lack of time is probably because of the newborn. You know what I mean? So that he's probably right on the nose. If that's what he's missing the game night content with the live streams. He's definitely hasn't.
I'm feeling that pain too. I'm not getting the fun either. I'm not getting game night. It's not just you guys. So let's fix that. Let's work on that next month. We'll work on that. I got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, I got family coming in from England, so it's going to be this next few weeks is going to be a little bit tricky, but I'm going to I'll try and figure something out. I think I mentioned before we got a couple of special guests for the next one, so yeah, that'd be good.
Hell yeah. Yep.
I already have the game chosen and made. Actually, I just need to do it. I actually spent the time weeks and weeks ago when I first, because I was going to do it a while back and then couldn't because of things, and then just need to do it. So be patient with me, Mr. Walrus. I love you.
I'll let you run into the next one here.
Whatnot is basically exactly the opposite of what I said. Whatnot will be completely beaten out by a similar business plan, but business plan will be run by a larger company, example being eBay. I think they're all just going to do really well, honestly. I think beaten out is, I think competition is good. There's a reason why you go to certain areas of town and there's like an auto zone on one corner and there's like the, I don't know, Napa Auto Parts, whatever, and the other, like there's like 2 gas stations opposite each other. There's like a grocery store and then there's a 7-Eleven. Like there's a reason that stuff does it, because people go to that area for that stuff. You're actually more inclined to get more people because they're not going out of their way. They go in there to that area for those things. So for me, like if I'm grabbing my phone to go on one of those streams, like I'm going there to go on one of them streams. So it's not going to stop people necessarily going on one particular one ever again. Like maybe when there's 3, the people that go on those and spend money, maybe they're cycling through all 3. Maybe they're watching one on the screen and one on their phone. Like anything interesting comes up, you got double the opportunity to buy it. I mean, I think it's just going to escalate it a little bit. They're having more competition. There's going to be more marketing. Some people on eBay that only use eBay and have heard about this new eBay Live, I would imagine a lot of them have never even heard of Whatnot. Like, have never bought from one, have no experience with it. But then when they start doing it on eBay and they hear about Whatnot, maybe they end up because of that situation, they go, oh, there's a Whatnot thing. I heard people in the eBay Discord talk about that, whatever. Like, it all gets intermingled and smoky when there's competition, and it's honestly, I think it's a good thing in that sense. What I see more likely with this spicy topic is not beaten out. I see purchases and takeover type stuff, like things being sold to bigger companies.
Yeah, Whatnot is running on its own little private island. It seems like PWCC is coming into the game with their live breaks. Don't think they'll ever do live auctions outside of their PWCC weekly auctions. No sense in the matter. So the live breaks make sense. That's not really competing, maybe a little bit with some of Whatnot's business, but not entirely, because Whatnot has all this different auction style stuff. eBay currently is not really that competitor yet for Whatnot. They are a QVC for random crap. So it'll be interesting to see how they develop, if they end up becoming some auction type platform that's live streaming. But I feel like Whatnot has a special place right now. Nobody's really banging on their doors trying to take any of these big streamers and convert them over to eBay live streamers, because it's not a thing yet. So that'll be the day when they start pulling these contracts for people like, hey, get out of Whatnot, come stream with us. Like the people that were getting people off Twitch to go to YouTube and streaming on there and stuff like that. That'll start becoming a play. Mm-hmm. Mixer, when Mixer pulled Ninja off of Twitch for 30 whatever million, whatever, how much money, I could see him doing it for some of the huge Whatnot streamers. Just getting pulled, getting a contract. Okay, we're going to leave this one because we don't have a contract. We're just making sales. Obviously, that's a huge business risk doing that, just uplifting your business and moving it to a different platform. But your streamers, those types of deals will come, I'm sure. That'll be interesting to see that develop. But right now, Whatnot, I think, is not going anywhere for a while, because I don't see anybody wanting to get into the muddy waters that they're in with the basic gambling they're allowing. eBay will never be to that level. I hope PWCC won't ever do that. So there's a couple of other small Whatnots, Drip Shop, I don't even know, Rare Candy maybe, that are trying to be Whatnot, but they got a nice little pocket right now. They're sitting pretty.
Yeah. I am intrigued on what eBay are going to do, though. Like the fact that, like you were just talking then about what you were saying with eBay, I can't help but think that they probably have some grasp on who they could go to source product for that too. Like they out of anyone, a reselling platform, they're the biggest. Like they would have the best people to go to like get product for those shows or streams or whatever. Like they Football Pete, let's just call him, get him in his warehouse and there's 50 people just slugging boxes around all day every day. Like it's exactly what you need for that situation. So there's that. But actually I do a little bit of research into like the back end like business side of these things. And I was listening a week or two ago to the director of risk and payments for eBay, an interview on payments.com. I'll try and get the link in the comments if I remember. And he essentially said that one of his primary focuses is, it may sound boring, you might want to skip a minute or two here, but if you're like me and a bit of a dog, you'll want to listen. So essentially he runs the risk and payments for eBay. So he's in charge of anything to do with like fraud, account takeovers, payment stuff for like incoming, outgoing, that kind of stuff. What he wants is people to come to eBay on their phone, on the computer, whatever, and just press a button. He was essentially said, I don't want them to think about the purchase. I do not want them to think about the financial side, which credit card they're using, whether they're using PayPal. I just want them to come in and just, it be so smooth and streamlined. They can just click a button and get it delivered and not even think about any of the payment. It's like, sounds like pretty like scary to like think like businesses like literally just care about getting your money. But that's kind of his job. Like that's kind of what he needs to do. I can't help but think that that's going to play into the direction they're going with this, of just get them excited on the eBay Live and just get them to press a button, just have it as smooth and as automated and as clean as possible. They can just press a button and they're already sold. They don't need to agree to all these different things, make bids, do this, do that. You just press a button, buy it, gone. You don't have to think about it. Purchase is already there. Payment processes as soon as it ships or whatever. Like there's going to be much more improvement in that from what he was saying in that interview. It was pretty interesting. There's some other things they touched on too. You guys will probably enjoy it if you're into that kind of stuff. But I just want to get that out there. We'll see how, as a business, how they end up attacking it, even down to like the payment side of stuff. You know, the technical aspect.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's something I definitely want to check out. Even it sounds pretty dope.
Yeah.
You have to send me the link. Put it down in the description.
I will. I'll try and remember after this. Yeah, I'll grab it. It's a good one.
Damn right, you better.
I mean, I struggle to get my own comment on there. I always forget because I might get wrapped up. What was the next one? Where are we?
I'll read it. I don't know if I did the last one. But people should be buying from low or no feedback sellers on eBay and take advantage on the money back guarantee. So, those of you who aren't familiar, money back guarantee. So, if you, for example, buy a booster pack, you buy a slab, you have 3 days to return the item. You have 3 days. So, if you receive an item, after delivery. So you receive the item, it sits in your P.O. box for 4 days. You go to the P.O. box, you get it, and this thing's already trashed, ripped open, you're screwed. You're not going to be able to return the item. So you literally take advantage. Within this first 72 hours after receipt, you can return your collectible. It falls under that category. PokeRev, I remember, got wrecked recently because he did that. He let it sit in his P.O. box for a few days, went and checked it, and they were resealed or something like that, and he got completely wrecked and couldn't even return it because of that 72-hour rule. So that is a huge thing. So there is protection there. I am a huge proponent of zero feedback sellers after just buying a huge collection this past week. Was pretty awesome. Not going to lie. It was a zero feedback seller. The issue there with zero feedback sellers, they have a $3,500 limit of selling something. So if they have something larger than that, you need to basically transact outside of eBay, some version of that. But yeah, I think a lot of those people that are zero feedback sellers have a lot of potential, a lot of different products that they could be just new to eBay for the first time. Their grandson said, "Hey, grandma, like, go sell this on eBay. What are you doing? You're gonna get all this money. You're gonna make tons of money." And then there's a lot of accounts like that are like that. They're just brand new to eBay, not always scammers. So definitely recommend, 100%. What about you?
Well, hang on. Yeah, I want you to touch on the take advantage of the money back guarantee.
Yeah. So I think when you like, that's just another form of protection. So when you buy, like, I paid, if I well say this seller had, I was able to buy the $6,000 collection from him. I wasn't able to because he has selling limits. But say I purchased it from him through eBay, I'd have the 72 hours to pretty much drop ship it right back to him and get my money back.
Mm-hmm.
Sight unseen, no problem. eBay's got my back. You could do it with a slab. You could do it with whatever you want, essentially. Um, and eBay will cover you as a buyer, which is nice.
I think I read this differently to you. This one, when I read this, I saw it as the person at the comment as being nefarious and taking advantage of the fact that you could say you didn't receive the item or it was damaged or sent you the wrong thing, taking advantage of the fact that like you can use the money back guarantee because they don't have feedback. So maybe I misunderstood it. I would never
thinking dirty. Dirty, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I fight online criminals all day every day. So yeah, yeah, that you kind of like, you obviously had a much more positive approach to that, but I took that as like take advantage of that situation, when in reality, I mean, I don't really have that much experience buying from low and no feedback sellers. I can tell you, selling to low and no feedback sellers, I've had worse experience with people with lots of feedback than I have with zero feedback. Honestly, I've had very few issues from people with no feedback. Almost every issue I've had have been people that have a lot and they know what to say and do and to get a refund. One particular person I remember from 3 years ago when I was selling some of our raw WotC cards, and yeah, they kind of screwed me a little bit. But yeah, PWE, the printed stamp thing you can do now, that's been a lifesaver because you've got tracking. For the most part, that works. I know Nick, Old School Pokemon, he's touched on it a few times, but I've used that so many times. It's been brilliant. Yeah. All right, moving on. People who thinks, this is a long one, guys. Buckle up. People who thinks that selling Pokemon cards is a full-time opportunity in the future is delusional and has not realized that most people who do Pokemon full-time is realizing long-term capital gains or buying collections from people who are struggling or without the knowledge to price shiz out. Old collections will dwindle and opportunities will close. Arbitrage will always be there, but not at a scale that people think. The seller's market will get diluted and competition will grow, costing sellers their margins. A lot to unpack there. We've got quite a few different directions we're going.
Yeah.
I don't think there's that many people doing Pokemon full time, first of all. I think there's a lot of people that do it to fund their hobby. Also, I think there always has been. Like, that's how, like, what a lot of people do. They trade cards or they grade or they buy, they sell, they whatever. You kind of move stuff around to, like, fund what you're doing. I think a lot of people do that. I don't think you need knowledge to price that stuff out. I think a lot of people sell collections and sell stuff like that because they just want some cash out of it. I think if they wanted every penny of it, if they truly wanted every penny, they would sit and list every one and figure out how to do it and how to ship it, like if they really wanted to. I think a lot of people just want to get some value from it because they know it's worth something. And I'm sure a lot of the people buying can take advantage of that. You know, we're talking about taking advantage of it. I'm sure there's a way of doing that. That comes into like trusting people, getting recommendations, making sure you've got good feedback and stuff like that. I feel like it's easier to avoid it. What do you think?
I think there's a lot. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go take this thing line by line. So it says people who
Okay.
think that selling Pokemon cards full time job opportunity in the future is delusional. So the way that's worded, they didn't say flipping; they just said selling Pokemon. So when you're just selling Pokemon, you could be breaking boxes, kind of like old school Pokemon does.
Mm-hmm.
You could be at LGS, like Mason Cardinal Gaming. Those are selling Pokemon full time. I do agree in the sense if you use the word flipping, you're not breaking down booster boxes. You're mainly just chasing those collections to flip and grade, or you're buying raw cards. Selling Pokemon is just so vague. There's so many different avenues inside of it: flipping, grading, raw cards, whatnot, auctions, just LGS. There's so many different opportunities, and I don't think it's delusional. There, obviously, you want to broaden your horizons as much as possible. For example, like Catch 'em All Collectibles, he was doing Pokemon full time, but he saw the opportunity in MetaZoo to then buy the multiple cases, break those down, sell singles like
Mm-hmm.
other people do for Pokemon, and wanted to do that just to spread his wings and get a little bit different diversification under his belt. There's other things you could do, but I do think if you're looking at this just in the flipping sense, it would be tough to maintain long term. But man, right now, like, it's tough to picture it with the current sense of the market. Like obviously, if the market tanks, it's going to get nasty. But if it continues on this current streak of where we're going, like no end in sight, it's going to be interesting to see how that develops. Um, I honestly think it's a hell of a time. People are able to capitalize, and you should be capitalizing right now if you can and have the time, because it's a hell of a time out there for selling stuff. I'm gonna go down next line. Has not realized most people who do Pokemon full time is realizing long term capital gains or buying collections of people who are struggling or without knowledge prior to price stuff out. So again, that's more on the flipping side of things. There is a lot of people that obviously do not know how to price things out, but those are going to be few and far between. So I think flipping collections, like you had seen Z&G Emporium used to do it all the time. He doesn't have time to go and dig and find collections, right? But it's something, it's not enough profits from just flipping collections, finding and sourcing those collections. You got to do a lot more than that. You need to be knocking on those doors, looking for those single raw cards, grading those, being first to market, grading new stuff with the way current modern stuff selling. It's going to be not just flipping collections for sure. So just a little bit more on top of that. Um, but yeah, the capital gains thing, of course, those people that were vested into Pokemon realized tons of gains. Like, of course, but you can't. Those are the unicorns. There's not that many of those people that were in this since 2012 that just had heaping bounds. Of course, those people are full time. They deserve it. They won the lottery. Congratulations, you've done it. Like that's amazing. So
Special. Yeah.
I wish I was that person. Um, Old collections dwindle, opportunities will close. Yeah, so I think that'll happen. It'll, like I said, it'll be tougher to source collections more and further we get into this. So that'll happen. So just flipping collections again, it's not going to be that amazing. Seller's market will get diluted. That'll happen too. So more and more whatnot people will be streaming. More and more people on eBay are going to be selling. More people are buying booster boxes, selling packs, selling singles, grading modern cards faster and faster and faster. So in theory, margins will drop because more competition will be out there. So I do agree with that last statement. Their competition's just going to continue to grow as long as these people keep realizing that Pokemon's doing what it's doing consistently. You got Rudy keep talking about it to his 400,000 subscribers every day, every week. talking about how Pokemon's doing great. So then these Magic the Gathering people start buying booster boxes because they want to hold it. Like, margins are going to dwindle eventually. Just more and more sellers will pop into this, trying to make this a full-time thing, and it'll get tighter and tighter, and people start popping and squeezing out. So, good comment. Good comment. There's a lot in there.
I think after what you just said, and thinking about it a little bit more, there is one where I think I disagree quite strongly with. It says that old collections will dwindle and opportunities will close. Yeah, if they stop printing today, like it.
Yeah, what's old? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You just bought a collection from 25 years ago, right? 20 years ago, whatever it was. Like, what? Not that long ago. Like, you could buy a collection from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. In 20 years, there's going to be people that couldn't buy Moonbryon because it was a $600 freaking raw card.
Right.
They couldn't pull it because they only could afford 5 packs, so they couldn't pull it. They were a kid. That's the card they always wanted as a kid. Everyone was talking about it. It was all over YouTube, all over Instagram. Everybody's grading it, selling it for thousands of dollars. In 20 years, you can't tell me there isn't going to be kids that now have adult money and can go buy that Umbreon, even if it's $100. People are still going to have collection binders with Umbreons in. People are still going to have collection binders with alt arts in. That other people, I want to complete my alt art collection from Sword and Shield now. I want to finish my trainer gallery. I want to finish collecting all the million freaking Pikachus from the 2020s. Like, there's going to be people doing that. I don't know how many, but there is going to be people doing it because we've seen it for the past 25 years, 27 years. Like, it just is a thing. Like, it always is, and they're still making new sets. Like, there's people that are going to want to collect the first Maridon cards. Like, there's going to be people that want to collect special delivery Pikachu, special delivery Bidoof because they only got special delivery Charizard. They didn't get the winning raffle for that. So, like, some stuff is just always going to have some type of value. That's why an Ancient Mew still sells for $30, and it was a free card.
Yeah.
27 years later, it still sells for $30 for something that was free. It literally worth $0. So, I quite passionately disagree with that comment. I don't think old collections will dwindle. I think maybe some base set will, but everyone I talk to has base set cards. Everyone I talk to has some old Team Rocket, has some of that stuff in the binder when they were a kid. Like, not everybody has opened and cracked it. There was millions and millions of cards sold. There isn't millions and millions of base set graded. There isn't millions and millions of it. Like, there's thousands, but I don't think people understand, like, the sheer volume of, like, what is still out there just sat in dusty binders. It's going to take a long time to dwindle that, and by the time that happens, Evolving Skies is going to be the old set. Scarlet, Violet, whatever the special sets are that are going to happen this year, they're going to be the old ones that kids with adult money at that time are going to want. So I just wanted to get that in there. I was kind of processing that bit a little bit as you were talking on it. Does that make sense, or do I sound like a crazy person?
No, yeah, 100%. Maybe it was not the same thing I was saying, but I totally agree with what you're saying for sure. Like, didn't think about it that way in a sense. Like, in 20 years, like, even now, people are buying modern slab collections because people that graded all these cards and got 9.5s, or they're like, I don't need this crap. Let me sell it at 70, 65%. Like, that's a thing you could do, right? Go and buy these. The people from Whatnot are doing it and stuff like that. So it's people are doing it now.
I didn't initially think of it either, but after I was listening and kind of processing a little bit, I was thinking, like, well, hang on, like, no, I don't think that is actually going to happen. Sellers market get diluted. I just don't believe in dilution, honestly. I think sellers market will rise and grow with demand. Like, if the market is either it sells or it doesn't, I don't think there's any diluting really. I don't think it's as complicated as you could really draw it out and make a conversation around. Either sits on the shelf for a week or it sits on there for a year. Like, it's still going to sell at some point, probably. I mean, I can't imagine that Mason could put something on his shelf from 2 or 3 plus years ago and it not sell for a year. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, we're not in the boom anymore. But there's still people that want that stuff every single day. Like, look on eBay, there's people buying PSA 5 2020 cards. Like, just a thing. Like, people will buy, it might be $3, but there's still going to be someone buying it. So, yeah, cool one. Last one I see, Charizard sucks. I don't remember who wrote that, but
straight to the point.
A lot of people really like Charizard. Honestly, I didn't really like him in the show. He wasn't very pleasant. He didn't listen to Ash. It was a pretty stark difference from Pikachu's attitude. Pikachu took a bit of warming up. We know that. He was spicy at the beginning. I did learn that Pikachu was originally supposed to be a squirrel, and that's why his tail points up like a squirrel does, and why he's on his back legs like a squirrel. That's why he doesn't really look like a mouse. So it was interesting that they tried to call him a mouse Pokemon to make him cuter, I guess. But yeah, just learned that the other day. And then one of the artists said it, apparently. But yeah, Charizard, I think the thing with Charizard is like strong, and he's got fire, and he's red. It's just like very visually appealing, and he's a bit edgy. Like, he's got a bit of an attitude and stuff, and it's powerful. Like you say, maybe not in all the cards. Like, there's some cards that he isn't that great, but just that initial glimpse we got into who Charizard was from the show and the game and stuff. I mean, it's hard not to like be drawn to that for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, it's I agree. Charizard does suck. It's way too expensive. Don't collect it. It's like one of the worst. Like, if you're one of those people, Godspeed to you collecting Charizards. Holy F, you are so effed. Good luck the rest of your life, because this is just going to get worse and worse. Every set has at least like a common Charizard, or it's got a freaking full art shiny collector rare Charizard. It's insane. But
so many.
The dude's a boss. You can't, like, it's the only childhood card I have is my base unlimited Charizard my dad bought me. It was in a screw case until like 3 years ago when I graded it myself, and it's a freaking boss monster from the inception of the show. Like you said, he was not listening to Ash, but when he did, he turned on the jets when the time mattered most, and he was there for the guy. And I can only think about like one of the episodes that sticks. I think it was the movie when Mewtwo recreated like all these boss monsters and like the Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, and those guys were just like super poke. It was like the first megas essentially.
Yeah,
and those that Charizard was freaking dope. I don't know. There's something about him. He is a great ambassador for the game. That him and Pikachu are the perfect duo for sure. So, it's a special thing. The Charizard, the lore around him, who he is, what he's done for everything. I can't hate on him too bad. I would never want to collect him just in the sense of good rip my wallet, but I definitely have a mighty respect for what he's done and everything Charizard is.
You can't look at that base set that you've got in that slab. You just cannot look at that card and not love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it just encompasses every emotion, like from back for us anyway. I mean, obviously people opening stuff now clearly don't have a draw to base set. Like, that's why the prices are lower than modern cards, literally. Yeah. Like, but for us, like, I pick up a base set Charizard, like, it just feels so emotionally like special. It feels it's just wonderful. Like, everything. I had the Dark Charizard that I pulled from Team Rocket, and I don't know, it's like on a pedestal in your head, right? It just feels cool. Yeah. Amazing artworks, just amazing. You can't look at that one and go, wow, this guy looks like an absolute badass on that base set card. That just the original one with sort of flashy greeny color holo and stuff. Amazing. So yeah, I think Charizard sucks in different ways, but also absolute opposite in a lot of ways. So yeah, I think you're right. Some really valid points there.
Yeah, it's you live to hate them, but you love them at the same time. It's one of those things. You just got to keep on keeping on, essentially.
Yeah.
So, have you been doing any eBay auctions at all?
Buying, not so much. I haven't bought much off eBay.
Like selling or no?
Lately. Selling, I sold a few last weekend. I had a few sell, and I sold a few through C&G, through James and Cam. That just finished last night. Yeah, I mean, you were talking earlier about not too long ago, 10 minutes ago. So you said you were touching on optimizing right now. Our prices are good. Like prices are definitely down on a lot of cards than what they were the past year or two. But there is still so much area to make profit. I mean, there was one card that I bought for $3, graded it, and it just sold in their auction for 86. Like this there, you just got to do it. You got to research like what's there, and you got to put that effort in. If you really do want to make money in this, there's always going to be opportunity. And that wasn't an old card or a rare card.
Yeah.
At all. Very
That's
easily bought, very much a $3 card. Debating sending the rest. I have a few more of them. So maybe I'll grade and sell them. But yeah, I mean, you can just make little chunks of money. Hey, I'm not selling number one trainer trophy card, crazy, amazing illustrators and stuff like that. But you can sell $50 to $100 cards all day, every day, and make a very nice little bit of play money to buy what you want for your collection. Or take yourself on vacation. I know you did that, right? You sold a few cards and Evo boxes. Was it not? Not Evo.
Yep.
What's like Evolution? I was trying to think of like what the nickname was for it. Evo, I think Evolving Skies. Do you call it Evo?
Yeah. No, just Evolutions.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. That was huge. But yeah, I totally agree. I've been selling this week. I just skipped, but the last 2 weeks I've been selling 20, 30 cards, 7-day auctions, doing it myself. Not too bad. I do it all with my phone. I take the pictures, like for example, I could do 20 cards. I took front and back pictures of all 20 cards right in a row. That took probably 10 minutes, honestly, for all those cards, the pictures. And then pretty much utilize the same type of listing, just modify a few of the description items. Like I could probably get all 20 cards listed in under an hour. Not bad. It's not bad with the picture time included. So doing it that way is nicer. But when I get like a stack of 500, like these cards here, stack of like 500 things I want to list, it's good. It's nice just to chip away at some of these things 20 at a time. Don't overkill yourself if you're working 9 to 5. And that's where I was at. Like I had submitted 200 cards to Z&G because I just wanted to get these things out of my freaking backlog. I couldn't imagine still having those. So highly recommend their service because it was nice being able to just liquefy that in the matter of a week. That was really cool. And it was zero work for me. Just had to put it in a box and ship it. But obviously you pay your fees, and but it definitely saved me a lot of time. But doing it myself has been nice. Very nice.
Yeah. It's nice that there's the options there, right? You could consign Z&G, Nick, Dan, like there's people doing it. You can list it on people's Instagram, Palatine, that kind of stuff. Like there's people doing it in all different directions, but you also have eBay vote, there's the PSA vote, there's Golden, there's PUCC, like there's so many. I mean, Whatnot, you could even sell to a Whatnot seller. Like there's literally a million different directions you can go. How fast do you need the money? Do you need to optimize it? You okay sitting on it to get the most out of it? Do you want to get it quick? Like there's just a million directions you could go, which is awesome. Probably overwhelming for some people, and maybe people make mistakes sometimes, but I had honestly pretty solid sales. We should probably talk about it when I get like the final numbers and stuff wrapped up from them. But I was very happy. Some of the stuff that I did the CGC optimization video on, there was a few of those dabbled in there. with that consignment, and they sold pretty well, definitely profitable. So that's enjoyable. And then a bunch of just cards people want and a 10 slab. Like honestly, you just need to be chasing 10s. Like whatever the card is, if it's in a 10, you'll likely make profit if you're buying it raw or at a low price and low risk. So maybe that's a spicy topic. I don't know. I've had fairly decent look. I need to get some more stuff together. I got a bunch of cards and stuff here. I gotta figure out. Oh, you know what I did do last night? I ordered Danizard. Thank you so much for sending me this. He sent me a code for the illustration contest pack from Pokemon Center. So I just finally got around to ordering that last night, crossing it off my to-do list. So thank you so much for that. I'll have to show it in a video. It should get delivered this week. So I'm excited to see what they look like. I love the Bulbasaur like falling out of the tree with his vines and stuff. Like that's really cute. They're really cool artwork. So that'll be fun. Ordered that. Trying to think what else got going on. I need to do a pre-order for Scarlet and Violet.
Let's rip some.
I wonder. I think Mason's doing one.
Maybe next weekend, the weekend after,
yeah. Maybe I should do something like that. That'd be fun.
I like bulk too much, so I'd rather go buy the box myself.
He sent me the
bulk. Did he?
Nice. Does he not send it normally? I did Pokemon Go, and I think he sent me everything.
I don't know. Don't quote me, but I thought he was just doing the hits, but could be wrong. Look into it.
Yeah, check the website. I mean, there are some bulk cards that I like. I have binders of illustrators, and I have binders of like certain Pokemon and stuff. Like there's commons and stuff that people don't like, aren't worth anything, but I like the artwork, or I like the attack and the HP and the descriptions of them.
Yeah. Yep. You got I'm gonna put you on the spot. Any question? I'm gonna probably go at least ask one question, so I'll answer after you do. But you got one question you would ask the two gentlemen we're gonna be on the podcast with at PokeFlips. Anything you would ask them that could come to mind?
I've got a lot of business questions I want to ask them that like kind of, I guess not that
financial advice,
spicy or entertaining. No, like I'm curious on like how they're running their business and like what their plans are for change, if they're more open to change and dynamic. And I feel like Dan's fairly like opportunistic, and I feel like Nick knows what works and sticks with it. I feel like they have slightly different approaches. So I'm curious if with the new set and like the market shifting slightly, things getting a bit different with like other TCGs, like, excuse me, you were talking about with the Lord of the Rings set with Magic. We're going to start dabbling with other things, like just generally curious on like what they're doing. Because I know if I was in their position, I'd just be like at shiny ball syndrome. I think because I'd have all day every day to like devote to that. I'd just be buying and trying to buy and sell everything I possibly could. I'd just be throwing everything around and just seeing what sticks to the wall. I'd just be throwing spaghetti everywhere. So, what about you? Like, what is there anything that is there a reason? Was there something that you wanted to ask?
Maybe just a little bit unpacking the collection a little bit. Like obviously everything's got its price tag. It might not be the case so much for Nick as it is Dan, it seems, because I know Nick's got his pack collection is No Damage Ninetales, but maybe just unpack that a little bit more, see how that thing's going, and talk about the collection. Or is there anything that even interests them anymore? Because doing consignments can kind of numb you to a bunch of things because you see a bunch of really sick cards that you don't own, but they pass through your hands. So it kind of kicks that for you. Like I know James and Cam talk about it all the time. They're like, yeah, we've seen pretty much every card, and once in a while, maybe once every month and a half, we'll see a card that, oh, that's kind of cool, like very unique or something like that. But I feel like that kind of numbs you to it. Or is there burnout? Like I'd be curious. Like, can you get burned out because you got the content thing going on? Like, when's enough, or is this sustainable for longevity into your 50s? Like, if the market maintained, is this you for the next 20 years? It'll be interesting to
that's
unpack it a
very
little bit.
interesting.
Yeah.
Dan said he said I was cutting my grass and I was listening not too long ago, like maybe a week ago, and he was talking about like he's not sure that like Pokemon's going to last a long time. Like I think he said it in months ago. Too. There's a couple of times I've heard him say it, which touched on it. Like, yeah, I don't know if Pokemon is going to be a long-term thing, but right now it's working and I'm making money, it kind of thing, which is. Like I say, it speaks to his opportunistic side, which definitely resonates with me. I'm very opportunistic too. If the glass isn't half full or half empty, it's a chance to quench your thirst. I think I've said that before. It's like just drink it, like just get it done. Don't think about it too much. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see a long-term plan. Also, I wish we knew more about Pokemon's long-term plan. I think that would help a little bit with it too. The this new generation there's some cool Pokemon in it. There's some interesting ones. I don't think the fun is going to be around the new Pokemon. I think the fun is going to be around the artworks of like all the different Pokemon we already have and the new ones and stuff. So yeah.
This is, I think, a really unique situation we're in because I feel like the base sets, Sword and Shield base, Sun and Moon base, were kind of dumpy, not amazing. As far as thriving prices, but I feel like this is the first time we've got a new generation with alt arts and actual scarcity made into the set for some of these rookie cards.
Yeah,
that'll be pretty interesting to see how that kind of helps develop, because obviously it's helping a bunch of modern sets now do what they're doing, and this being a whole new generation for the first time and having these rare pulls and stuff will be probably pretty damn good. They'll probably yield pretty damn good results from it.
And I mean, people really are spending big money at the moment. So there's people buying $1,000 Umbreons every single day. So those people likely will gravitate towards, okay, like, what's next? Now I own that Umbreon. Like, now I want the most amazing PSA 10 card of this set. Yeah, I think there probably is an aspect of that. If you can afford to throw $1,000 at a Pokemon card, you could probably spend $2,000 on a Pokemon card. Like, let's get real. Like, I hope people aren't spending their rent on that. Like, but I would imagine the majority of people doing it could probably buy another one if they wanted to. In this next set, this next generation, whatever. There's going to be some damn fun sets the next year or two. I just know it.
Yeah, looking forward to it, man. It's going to be awesome. If you want to send us into the evening, but definitely stay tuned. We're going to be doing that giveaway here. So if you want to close it out.
Yeah. So thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. You guys always very supportive. You guys have been really good at sharing and commenting and being involved with just generally enjoying and being a part of this podcast, episode 11, down the hatch there. Pretty exciting. We're continuing to rock and roll with it. Poke Flips tomorrow. Good stuff happening. We're enjoying it. We're enjoying reading the comments. It's been very entertaining and enjoyable. So, thank you all. Watch out. We're going to go to a wheel spin for the Evolving Skies Pikachu PSA 10. Going to slip a couple of little goodies in there too, just as a thank you. But let's jump into it. Bye, guys.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the winning circle. We're going to do a little winning spinning dealio here for the people that did spicy comments last week for the PSA 10 Pikachu. Little prize that I'll get sent out as a thank you for you guys' support and being involved with the channel. So Greeny, you want to take it away? Let's see who wins.
And the winner is the Mexican Hipster. Congratulations to you, sir. Shoot us a message on Instagram or Discord or wherever you know where to communicate with us. Get us your information. We'll get this Pikachu and other goodies out to you.
Yeah, get it to me. I'll get it shipped out ASAP. Thanks for that. Congrats, Mexican Hipster. That's wonderful. I'll see you guys later.
Peace.